this fun and excitement going. Gonna use up a bit of energy in uncollected for the event quest, and then get into the arenas. That is the plan. Alright. And since the arenas earlier today, I have done no more matches. So, yeah, considering we've got some maintenance tomorrow, I've got some arenas to catch up on. Yep. But other than that, we shall sit back and knock it out, I hope. Well, knock out the opponents anyways. That is the plan. So, I tried Realm of Champions earlier today. I downloaded it, played it for about 10-15 minutes, set a username. I think I'm pretty much done with that game. I don't care for the controls. I think that would just take it's just a matter of time getting used to, so fine. But I don't. Yeah, I don't know. It just it doesn't seem that intuitive to me. Again, maybe it's not. It's not fair to come to that conclusion after 15 minutes. But this game, I mean, it's a while ago that I started it. It just seemed a lot quicker to get the hang of it. And it's also quite a different style too, obviously. But yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm sure some people are gonna like it, but I don't know. I could see that not doing too well at all. It's gonna be interesting though to see. I'm sure they would give it like a quarter, so 3 months to maybe a year. But if it's not doing well, it'd be interesting to see whether or not. I think one of two things. If Realm of Champions doesn't do well, either we see Kabam come out with a new title, a new game, which for the most part, it would be something they've already been developing. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot more offers in this game, and probably a lot more, which I don't know how they're going to do it, because I think they realized it might have been a bit problematic this summer, or a lot more content for this game. Because if Realm of Champions doesn't do well, and they realize, they've got their cash cow, so they better take care of their cash cow, because they're not going to easily replace it. Could be interesting. Interesting indeed. I mean, I know that they say, it's separate teams working on separate titles, but which, yeah, that's true. But from management's perspective, if they know there's only one of them that's making them the money, that's where they're gonna go. Hey, how goes it, Jacob? Yeah, usually in the evenings there's not too... Well, when I've streamed in the evenings, there's not too many people in the stream. So usually in the evenings, for the most part, Mr. Man Falcon, you're still up? Or, wait, either still up or just getting up. So Jacob then, so for the most part, I don't stream that long in the evenings. But so long as there's 1 or 2 people in chat that are talkative, it's the same as if there's 10. So so that would have been, what, 7 hours ago? Oh, okay. So basically all of the streams like that are happening during the day for North America are your early, early morning to mid afternoon. Then okay, not bad, not bad, not bad at all. Jacob, have you been here before? I know there's been at least one other Jacob, but I don't know if I've seen you in particular. Okay. Could just be my old age. It happens. It happens. So I was messing around with a webcam app to make the iPhone behave like a webcam, basically. Because that's how I want to do it for the most part, rather than like so the way this is working currently for the webcam portion is I have my iPhone shared on my monitor, and then within the streaming software, I'm just sharing my monitor screen, but I've cropped in on my face, which it works for the most part, but it's a little bit more convoluted than I'd like. I'd like it straight to be like add webcam, boom, there you go. So that's what this app allows, but it's a trial, and whatever the time interval is, advertisements come up on it. So it's not exactly ideal. Early mornings through till BG unless Wally streams. After him, otherwise just Russian streamers. Oh, making up the conversation only is funny. As long yeah. Well, hey, could be a reason to learn Russian. Like Russian streamers streaming MCOC. I've seen a couple Russian and a couple Spanish. I wasn't in any of the streams very long, but for the most part, all of the ones I've come across are English speaking. Let's see here. I think as far as the people that I'm keep track of, it's only Brian Perkins and myself currently that are live. I think for most people, or a lot of people who stream, which makes sense, because I mean, if you've got a family and whatever else going on, your most ideal time is probably like after dinner. So mid-evening is probably when you'd see the most North American streamers. Hey, woo, that was a quick one. Damn, not even 15 minutes in. I just did incursions, and my very first match in incursions, it crashed out. Come back, and my Aegon's at half health. Oh, man, that's... Like, I know some people have been talking about compensation for this, and if it's those kind of things that are happening, like if it's happening in AQ, War, incursions, I think absolutely, well, fair enough, if it's happening in general, that should be. And I've seen a few people... a few streamers are like, oh, well, it doesn't happen to me. Well, just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it's not a problem. Well. I mean, because I guess you could look at it the same way as the... no, let's do it like that. No, let's do it like that. The same as the overheating problem a while back. Right? Like, it wasn't overheating for everyone, but it was overheating for a lot of people, so it was a problem. So I'm going to get to about 1 million in the 4-star feature, and then switch over to the T4B. Obviously I want to get the T4B done just because it will expire before the 4-star feature. Hey, man, Falcon, have you played Realm of Champions? I don't know if you were in ILAC stream when we were talking about it in there. But I tried it for a bit. I think that's probably about all I'll try it for. Although, so I was kind of thinking that when I first started this game, that it was similar, where I tried it out for a bit and then didn't come back to it for a while. But I think like this one, I played out, you know, the tutorial, and I think I played it for a little bit after that. But then just, you know, I had other things to do and just wasn't consistent. Like how I'm on the game every day now. But when I first started, that was not the case. But with Realm of Champions, I don't know, maybe I'll go back into it again for a little bit, but yeah, I really don't see that as something. For me, it just seems very granular. Like there seems like a lot of little things here and there. Like I guess because you can, you know, customize the look of the equipment and all that, and it's just very I don't know, like very involved. And to be honest, if I want something that is that detailed, I think I'd go back to playing World of Warcraft, right? Because I mean, in World of Warcraft, you can go down to like customizing your rings, right? Like you got, obviously, you know, the big things like your helmet, your boots, your gloves, but then you can do like rings and bracelets and necklace and so yeah, if I want to do that, I don't think I'd be doing it on a mobile game. No, I've seen Marvel Realm of Legends, or is it League of Champions? I get confused because I will. Not my cup of tea. Yeah. Actually, when I was starting it up earlier today, I was like, oh, maybe I should stream this, just, you know, for the hell of it. But then I was like, oh, then I need to make a thumbnail, blah blah, which yeah, I could have obviously done without. That's fine. Oh, that's interesting. So, interesting. I wonder why that is. So your comment, Jacob, in the streaming software I don't see it, but on the stream I do see it. That's interesting. Storm Special 2 block damage is bullshit. How so? As in, like, it doesn't block much, or if you're fighting her, it blocks too much? Okay. I see why. I didn't see your comment in the streaming stuff. Okay. I see it now. Yeah, I think that's probably the thing, though, too, right? Is that the people who've been playing MCOC, because Realm of Champions is a different style, so it won't be that appealing to them. So they might be looking for a completely new audience, which, yeah, I don't know. Because I guess like if it's somebody who's already into that type of game, they're probably used to that type of controls, probably used to that that amount of granular setting or control, so it's not going to be that annoying for them. But is that in the style of League of Legends? I've seen people play it, but I've never played it. I had a friend whose son was like hardcore into it. I talked to him a bit about it. So her son was 18 or 19 at the time. But he was like talking as though he was going to be a professional gamer or whatever. But I think probably a lot of younger people at some point figure that. Like my nephew, that's what he wanted to do at one point. And he's the other person that I'd seen play it was, well, my nephew and niece. They were into it at one point. Just Marvel, I'm trying to get some League of Legends pie. I don't blame them for doing it. Got to pay the bills and make profit any way you can today. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta get used to the looking at comments only between matches. Oh, they must sick of us a lot, but nah, from MCOC. I think they came up with Realm of Champions because they realized that the shelf life of Contest of Champions is limited, so they need something to go to, right? But I don't know if Realm of Champions is the the thing to go to. League is huge, very much like MCOC. Is in a ton of ways. League has huge tournaments too, like Counter-Strike. So League of Legends, it was like really popular at one point, right? And then it kind of died off, but it's coming back. Seems like World of Warcraft. Well, I guess because they've got an expansion coming out, so it makes sense. But it seems like that's getting a lot of attention currently too. I've been watching a little bit on Twitch of somebody streaming World of Warcraft. So the expansion isn't out yet, but they're expecting it should be in November because it's usually like when I did play it, the expansions are usually out mid to late November. I would expect it's probably still the same kind of time frame. And probably, I would assume the first little bit when the expansion does go live, there would be a ton of people streaming it. Oof. That was not part of the plan, Stan. Oh dear. There we go. Yeah, MCOC was supposed to die at 5 years, which explains the ignoring we got a year and a bit ago. Then Kabam saw the player base and having been rushing to keep us in. Yeah. So what do you think they would do if MCOC fails? Or not necessarily fails, but if it's not, let's say, half as popular as MCOC, do you see them? Do you see them changing MCOC substantially, or do you see them basically have MCOC going the same way it's been going, but with either like more content? I don't think they would do what they did this July, August. June, July, August, I guess. I don't see them doing that again because that was a lot. I don't think they would add. I don't think they're going to add gear. I think they'll be a bit cautious about how 7 stars come about. I don't really know game-wise. I think what they could do is not change necessarily the way the game works or the main concepts, but maybe doing the quality of life stuff like the help all, changing up arena a little bit. I could be totally wrong, but without substantially changing the feel of the game, I don't know if they could really do too much. 5 years is a standard business plan. Time for review to cut or continue. You do them at 1, 2, yeah. Well, and also Kabam a while ago had said that they had plans for MCOC as far into 2025. Not that I don't know exactly when that was, but it was a while ago. So I mean, it doesn't mean that. Well, I mean, maybe at that point in time, they didn't see the game going beyond whatever that time frame was. But like I said, if they have new titles coming out that aren't doing well, they may have to hold on to this one. And I don't know. You invest big time and review at 6 and 7. Yeah. I don't know how that would work, right? Is it simply that they don't produce new stuff for it? Or is it like they actually take the servers offline and you no longer have the ability to play? Oh, I'm looking at the... interesting. At the prediction stuff for the arena, and that actually looks a little too small. There we go. I think that should be better now. Okay. Oh wow, 2.5 hours? Okay. Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, I should have actually looked at that because I was intending to stream the 6 stars as well, but I don't think I'll be streaming that long. But I definitely want to get the T4B at least halfway, if not done. Go from there, I guess. So, Man Falcon, I know we've talked like within the chat in regards to the Cyber Monday stuff, but I don't remember about you in particular. Are you intending to make some purchases during that time? So Kabam will lease servers too costly and outdated too fast to have your own, most likely. So yeah, you terminate the server lease agreement and the game is offline. Okay. Yeah. So then, if that's the approach, and you're somebody playing the game and aware of that, then I think then that's got to be a consideration, right? Like, so okay. So let's say they did say the thing about 2025, right? So we're 2020. So buying deals this Cyber Weekend, okay. But let's say 2023, 2024, right? But like I said, I think it's going to go beyond 2025. But come 2023, 2024, that's something to kind of, as a consumer, to keep in mind, right? I mean, buying, you know, a few deals here and there, fine. But if something like, because like I've said before, hey Cataclysm, how you doing? Like I've said before, I think this Cyber Weekend they're expecting people to drop a lot of money, or they've set it up that way so that people can. So if we were a year or two out from the game being offline, and you go and drop, I don't know, $500, $1,000, and then you find, you know, a year later you can't access what you purchased. Oy. I spend 20-30 news every time, but no more. I'm stingy to play. Yeah, that's fair. Well, thank you, Cataclysm. How are you? How are you? Out of curiosity, how did you come across the stream? Did you just find it, or did you come here in a raid at some point? I've played for a little under 5 years, spent about 200, 250. Yeah, so I've been playing 4.5 years, and when I first started playing, so the very, very first, I wasn't very active in the game. I'd log in here and there, whatever. And then, so I was still working, and I was living in northern Canada. And so I started playing it regularly while I was still up there. Then when I moved, like I wasn't working, and so I had a lot of time on my hands. So I started playing the game more. But then because I'm not working, what I would spend in the game decreased. But when I was working, I spent quite a bit. And I thought I knew exactly how much, well, pretty close to exactly how much I'd spent here, but when I was looking, it was actually just iOS purchases in general. So exactly how much for this game, I'm not sure. I think it was probably about half of the total iOS, so a fair bit. But for the last 2 years, I spent not much, only Cyber Monday, July 4th for the most part. And then the last year, the only thing was, same thing, July 4th, and then I was doing the unit deal, where you got 20 units every day. And outside of that, yeah, I wasn't doing the other deals that we get throughout the month and stuff. They will feed those whales all they can. Every game gets boring or become outdated. Normally whatever 2, 3, 4 come out where the game is still the OG, but it's not the same game. Yeah, it'll be interesting because I mean, I started playing World of Warcraft. I started playing just before the first expansion, actually, so that might have been about a year into the game. What was the first expansion? Burning Crusade. So I was playing just before Burning Crusade came out. I think I reached max level in the first zone of the new expansion. But even then, and so like I said, so the game was relatively new then. But even then, people are like, "Oh, WoW's dying. It's going to be good." And this is what it started in 2008, something like that. So it's been around for quite a while. So I don't think that MCOC has that staying power, and it doesn't have the backing that and I mean Blizzard and Activision are one now as well. So that's a major company as opposed to. Well, I mean, Kabam is bought out by Netmarble, so I don't know how big Netmarble is, but I rated before I sub, but for some reason YouTubers don't get notifications when I sub. Huh. Okay. Yeah, so I was asking in your private settings, most likely. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize that you could actually hide when you subscribe to a channel. Is there any really free entertainment though? So a few bucks here and there is okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, for the most part, nothing in life is free, really. Unfortunately. So I was asking Catechism because I was wondering earlier today. Just in general, like I was wondering how people find the channel, like whether it was just searching on YouTube for MCOC and it comes up that way, or not really, because if you get caught, yeah. So I'm wondering if it was like through the raids or from anybody on Discord, or yeah, just searching YouTube in general. Because to be honest, I mean, any way that somebody comes across and finds the channel and comes in here and chats for a while is good by me. Ideally, I'd like it if it's kind of organic, where somebody is searching YouTube for MCOC stuff and they come by the channel that way. I like the raids because it's like the other creators helping the other creators kind of thing. But I am kind of interested to know, like for myself obviously, but in general, how quickly you grow organically. Like for example, someone like Seaton or BG or Dorky Dave, right? Because when they started, the game was relatively new, so there wouldn't have been many people streaming to raid them, right? So for the most part, when people would have come across them, it's because somebody went in and typed in MCOC whatever, right? So. And also, with your suggestion, Jacob, the old saying, you do it too much, you'll go blind, so, yeah. So it might be free, but at the cost of your eyesight, that's a steep cost to pay. click on your avatar, click settings, click privacy. Oof, twice? Holy crap! That's only been half an hour and it's crashed twice. Holy smokes. And then like I said, when I was doing incursions earlier, it didn't crash. So that's in about an hour and a bit, 3 times. Wow. Wow. But again, for arenas, it's not that impactful, right? Like the worst that could happen is you lose your streak, which, that would be interesting. You might have a lot of people complain if they're going for Cosmic Ghost Rider, because that could impact people. But it's the other game modes where it's really detrimental. So maybe detrimental is a strong phrase, but really annoying. What device do you use, Jacob? Because I think people with the newest iPhones aren't having the problem. Or if they are, it's not as frequent. And I'm not too sure whether or not Android users have been having it too. Okay, so yeah. It is bad, you lose 50, yeah. Yeah, and more so for War, right? Like, okay, it sucks for AQ as well, but at least for AQ, that's only an impact to me. It sucks for me, but the rest of the team, they don't care. But in War, if it happens, especially right, like if you didn't even start the fight, you're giving up a death, right? And then you're coming back at half health. So, I'm the same, no crashes, but some error messages and long loading times and back, etc. Of course, Samsung. I understand, man. Back when I first started following MCOC YouTubers, I'd follow the main peeps, but I enjoy the more interactives. Yeah. Well, too, and thing it. Well, okay, so when you first started, yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, and it's good, though, to be in the streams with a lot of people, right? Because if you ask a question, even if the streamer isn't able to address your question, there's going to be somebody in there that can, right? Now, in the ones where you've got like a lot of people viewing, the chat goes by so quick, so you got to, really look out for it, but... Yeah, it really depends what you're... And that's one thing I think is cool, and I think that's probably just the way the whole thing works. But I think it's pretty cool how, if you're looking for something in particular, like advice or whatever, there's a place to go, right? Or if you're looking for information in a specific, like for arena stuff or for end game, but whatever it is, there's different avenues to go. So I think that's kind of cool. Actually, one thing I never thought of, and it makes complete sense. So if you get rated, I got rated about 2 weeks ago, where a lot of people came in, right? And I never even thought, okay, well, there might be a lot of people that come in, check out the channel, like, hey, okay, I'm going to go do something else after the stream I was just in, right? But I'll come back later, or whatever, right? I never even thought of that. So, in a sense, a raid, whether it be big or small, can be giving back for a long period of time, right? So one, in as new people, like the circumstance I just described, but also, so let's just say you, for example, you come in a week or two after the initial introduction to the channel, right? And then for whatever reason, in 2 weeks, you don't happen to be here, whether it be timing or whatever. But now you are, and you're like, oh my Lord, look at that beautiful face. And now you're consistently in here, right? So... yeah, so that's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I kind of wonder, though, too, if not for the current circumstances in the world. So, like, obviously, somebody like Eaton, BG, blah, blah, they were doing this long before. But I wonder if not for the current circumstances, if we'd see as many people doing this kind of stuff. not just MCOC, but just in general, right? Gaming and sharing your gaming on. I know it's a big thing, regardless, but I think there's a lot of people who started it because they're at home and they got, it's something to do, right? I think it was Sergeant Bourne raid. Okay. Same for me now. I just want to hang in chat. This is the majority of my social intercourse. Fair enough. Well, until I started chatting with people on Discord, it was the same for me. I'd be in whoever. Well, usually for the most part it was Lakers Bodyguard because he was streaming right when arenas started up. So early morning. Well, late morning actually, early afternoon. And then in the evenings. Now for him, I didn't interact. I was just there just to hear somebody talk in BG streams. But now I'm just listening to myself talk for the most part. But at least there's people to talk to, right? To have a discussion with. So, yeah, it's kind of funny actually, considering. Well, yeah, like I said, it was mainly Lakers Bodyguard. Well, so mainly him because of the timing. But anytime I was going to do arena, I was looking for pretty much anybody to have in the background. Now that's no longer a thing at all. Pretty much anytime I intended to sit down and do a fair bit of arena, I'm like, well, I may as well stream. And it happens to be that it's usually early afternoon for me or this kind of time at night. Well, no, usually a little bit later at night. But I figured I'd start this one when I did. Oh, he's got to be high sig. Jeez, just give up. There we go. Well, one, I was ready to get the arena going, and I was intending to stream tonight anyways, so. Come on, man. No. Really? Interesting. Well, I think this is going to be a loss. Yeah. Even without the stun. Yeah, COVID has changed everything in terms of online activity. I'm just stoked my IP upgraded every customer to unlimited data. Yeah. Plus, not gonna lie, Solar Flare is a really cool name. I'm a really cool guy too, damn it. What do you mean, just the name? Yeah, because they did the same thing in Canada. I don't know if that's still in effect, which, to be honest, there's no reason it shouldn't be, because nothing has changed. Medically, nothing has changed. But yeah, all of the wireless providers and stuff removed the overage charges and whatnot. So there was one point where, ooh, wow, they were suggesting that with the amount of online activity, that we could see significant congestion to networks. I don't know if overall that has been an issue, but I thought it was quite interesting. And I don't know if I don't know if it's like official, but I know there was talk in the U.S. of considering bandwidth or internet use or whatever to be like a utility, kind of like power or water, like where it's a necessity, so it has to be delivered and blah blah blah. I mean, it's not something that's required to live, but I think well, the realization of how important and how much it contributes to life, like to business and just doing your regular daily routine. I think we've seen that, but now in this kind of circumstance, I think it's very clear that yeah, because well, let's just think for students, for example, right? So if you're in a place where, for the most part now, you're only doing online schooling, and if you at home don't have internet, which is weird to say, right? Like, who doesn't have internet at home? But if you don't have internet, or if you're like the Candyman, Sergeant Bourne, so don't say your name 3 times. Yeah, like, who doesn't have internet, right? Or who doesn't have good internet? So yeah, so if you don't have internet, you're a student, Your school has gone online for the most part, right? So yeah. Yeah, so Cataclysm and Man Falcon, like if you're kind of into the, wanting to be interacting with the stream or interacting with chat or whatever, it would make sense that you would end up coming across the same, the same people. Yeah, I was kind of wondering if that would happen. So basically, the bleed portion of it gets applied. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! Gets applied after the hit is registered. Oof, there's no way. Well, I just need him to block one more time. Yeah, you're not going to block when you're that close, are you? No, and that's not going to do it. Dang it, was that? No, that was two different matches. This cold sucks. Yeah, man. Oh, I'm going to see what anagram I can make out of Sergeant Bourne. And solar. Trade you, Sergeant, you're cold. For my stomach flu. Oof. Is in love with me and me with... No. Stop that. Stop it now. You might be in love with me, but it's not reciprocal. Dun, dun, dun. How long have you been ill? Either of you. Schlirum, how you doing? I don't think I've seen you here before, Schlirum. I've seen you on other people's streams. But how goes it? Just since yesterday, yeah. Yeah, let's go this way. 3 days? Oof. So outside of just like the regular colds, I think the only... I've definitely had a flu before, but the only one I really remember is years ago when I had a flu shot. And I mean, I guess that's part of what happens, right? But I was, like out of it for quite a while. I'm like, nah, I'm okay, I'm good. But other than that, the only times I've been actually like really sick was once when I was early 20s, late teens, early 20s. I had pneumonia. That sucked. And then I think it might have been food poisoning. About 6 years ago, maybe. Like even the top of my feet hurt, and I couldn't eat. Like anything I ate was coming out quick, either from the top or the bottom. So I just didn't eat. And yeah, I was like in bed for a day and a half. So so it was like it started up the morning after I ate whatever I think made me sick, and then went to sleep feeling crappy, woke up feeling crappy, had a nap, and woke up absolutely fine. And I thought it was the weirdest thing, like just how quickly it was over. Like I could have understood if like after the nap, or even for a couple of days, just groggy and couldn't, no appetite and blah blah. But it was like day and night. Yeah, it was so weird. Should have, and then take a shower. 3 days. You speak with me, and I shall be summoned. Well, I'll remember that then, Mr. Bourne. No more saying your name. And then about a year and a half ago. No, maybe a little bit more. I was pretending to be active and healthy and stuff, and I was going to the gym. And we were doing this exercise where we had to have a partner, and we were doing like these stretches. So you hold your partner's hand, and you're sitting on the floor, and you pull each other back and forth to stretch yourselves out. And I heard something snap, and at first I didn't know if one of us had farted, or like how you crack your knuckles and stuff, or something like that. So I didn't think anything of it. Didn't feel anything. Then the gym was done. Came home. Good. Woke up the next morning, and because when you wake up you're kind of groggy or whatever, right? And out of nowhere there's just this shooting pain in my wrist, and it was so weird. Like I couldn't move my wrist, and it was swollen. Like it was, I wouldn't say double the size, but there was no, like if you look at your hand and there's like a curve from your thumb down into your arm, like that wasn't there. It was just like one straight line because it had swollen so much. Let me check something here. It looks like the video quality has gone downhill roughly about the same time as a certain sergeant entered the stream. Oh, that's weird. So it looks okay, but it's telling me that it's not good. So, okay. Oh, I don't... So the predictions in the bottom left, they kind of look fuzzy. And I don't think that's the image, because I think the image is fine. So that might be the stream. But anyway, so yeah. I did blame you. I'll blame you again. So, where was I? Oh, right, in regards to the wrist. And no, it has nothing to do with what you were going to suggest from earlier, Jacob. So I think for 2 days, like I was putting ice on it and stuff like that. And then... So I went to bed, and I was like, okay, if I wake up and it's still like this, I'm going to go see some medical person, right? To get an x-ray and figure, because maybe a bone broke or whatever. Woke up the next day, absolutely fine. The swelling had gone. There was no pain. It, again, so weird. Guess what worm went into... I got shit on because I was supportive of you. Ah, dear. That's funny. But how would he know that you were cozy with the enemy? Sergeant Bourne is an anagram for you get bros. Letters don't lie. I just decipher them. But Solar, it's kind of like you get to a point where you would rather just have genuine conversations with cool people about the game you all enjoy as opposed to the same YouTubers with insane rosters. Yeah. Telling you the newest content is easy. Oh, okay, I see. That was a continuation. Yeah. Well, but I mean, that is fair, though. It is easy for them, right? Because, I mean, for anybody that's got... Okay, like, so let's say, look at myself, right? I've got an R3 Aegon and R3 Corvus, right? So, for the most part, I should be finding most stuff easy. Or I have the possibility to find most things easy, right? Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point. So, I don't know if you're familiar with Putrid Talent. He's another streamer, right? And he's been playing for about... I think he started back up in March. Maybe a little bit earlier. But he and I disagree quite often in regards to... Not necessarily how easy things are, because I totally get, depending on roster and blah, 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 some things might be easy, some things might not be. But, okay, so for example... He doesn't like that the side quest where you use the keys, that there's heal block, right? So he's like, well, somebody with suicides, they can't do it. I'm like, well, yeah, you can. But, yeah, you can depending on roster to an extent, right? Because Ghost can pretty much do all of it. Captain Marvel movie or Captain Marvel can pretty much do all of it. So that is roster dependent. But... okay, I don't think that everything in the game is made for everyone, right? Now, if you're... So that being said, to this extent, right? So for me, I'm not going to go and do normal. There's just no benefit for me. And now I'm not going to do heroic. Like I could still, there are things in heroic that would be useful, but I'm not going to do it, right? Now, somebody with without OP champions, they might not be able to Cavalier difficulty, right? So yeah, so that kind of stuff I really don't see a problem with. Like I think that's how the game should be, right? Because it gives the person who's starting out something to aspire to. Well, I want to be able to do Cavalier difficulty. What do I need to do where do I need to get to be able to do that? Okay, I need to either be really good or I need a certain roster, blah, 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 right? I have my first R3. Okay. Cool. And things pretty good for... Is he duped? So, but okay, and I mean, to each their own, but if you're on ILAC stream as... So if he and Sergeant Bourne or whoever have an issue with one another, right? And you're on ILAC stream and you're like, hey, how's it going? What did you get in the arena, blah, blah. I don't see why that would be a problem. If you come in there and be like, hey, you're a jackass, blah, blah, because I'm, this other person, then fine. But yeah, I see no reason why, if two people have an issue with one another, why somebody who's friends with either of them would have an issue with that third party, right? But one people know Sergeant Bourne lost his voice during this abyss stream. Looks clear to me, no clue what that is. Falcon. Yeah, I don't know why it's got the message saying that whatever issues. Because I looked at the stream myself and it looked okay. Warlock 2, Sentinel, okay. Can do the background cav. Difficulty is annoying. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Seems like lots of people have been giving Sergeant shit lately. Jacob, you got banned from ILAC. Apologies if you do not like language. It's just there's something cool about interactive streams. Yeah. Well, I think people, which I think is actually kind of funny, but people were giving Sergeant Bourne a lot of shit over his Abyss run, right? So maybe he struggled, or maybe he used more units than other people have. Now, here's the thing. So if somebody who's already gone through the Abyss, who've done it, or let's just say the path that Sergeant Bourne had done, right? So if somebody's already done it, they've done it for less and had an easier time, okay. I could kind of see them being like, oh, you suck, or blah, 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 or whatever. But if it's somebody that has not done it themselves at all, they shouldn't be saying anything. Because for the most part, if you do, when it's time for you to do the Abyss, might be a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, I get it, right? Because we watch, oh, wait. Did I? No, okay. So we watch people to see how they play the game, blah, blah, right? That is the main reason that we go into their stream. So I get it. But if you think about it, criticizing somebody for the way they play the game or whatever, it makes no sense. We're all going to play it differently. Somebody's going to be worse, somebody's going to be better. I don't know, man. I could see criticizing for other things, but I just think it's quite funny to criticize for gameplay. But, like I said, that's just the way I look at it. That being said, I've definitely left comments on streamers, not usually in their streams, but comments on videos and stuff that aren't very nice. But it's never would be about gameplay. It's usually, like I've said before, it's because I thought what the information they were giving in the video was purposely inaccurate, and that's why. Because if it was just happened to be inaccurate, like they thought one thing, but whatever. That's fine. Everybody makes mistakes or whatever, myself included. But I don't think I would purposely know that what I'm saying is untrue. But there's been a couple videos where I thought that was the case, and in those cases I criticized the person. But yeah, nah, for gameplay, that's, yeah. There's something cool, not banned, I think got timed out a couple times at least. Too many people just want to stir up pot for their own entertainment. I go where I please, I have enough problems without fighting others, Dad, yeah. Well, I do suck, exactly. I thought I could admit that this game do well. Yeah, you make your sucking very fun and enjoyable. But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you suck at the game or not, right? Like, I don't think... I don't know, maybe people do go to streams to... Yeah, I guess. Because, like, yeah, I suppose. Because, I mean, there are the videos where people one-shot something that's difficult, right? And it might get a lot of views. But I don't know. I just don't see the stream portion of things being about the gameplay. Although, then again, I'm only looking at it from my perspective. So, fair enough. If others want to go into a stream because they want to watch somebody do everything perfectly. But... But yeah, I think in life, for whatever reason, we're so quick to point out when somebody isn't perfect, as opposed to realizing none of us are, and just accept that. It's funny though, I find, wow, that's a lot. Is something like hotter than it should be? Nope, that all looks good. That's weird. I find I get more out of somebody screwing up than somebody doing it perfectly. Because if somebody screws up, then I know when I'm doing it, what to look for, right? If somebody's doing it perfectly, I might not be capable of doing it exactly like they do or other things, whatever, right? And hey, to be 100% honest though, and maybe this is why people would go into somebody's stream that or video or whatever, who may not be as good as somebody else, is because we all want to feel better about ourselves. So seeing somebody else struggle, we then feel like, hey, I'm not as bad as I thought. So, and like I said earlier, right? There's many different audiences out there, and I think there's streamers or video creators or whatever that produces to many different audiences. So if you want to find it, you probably can. I agree. If you have not completed, you should not haze someone. Offer good advice by all means, but also some people just get rolled. If you are new to them, it will seem harsh. Yeah. For my first day, I said I am here to show average players some MCOC gameplay. Yeah. That was made me feel at home in your streams. Like, I'm aware of the beefs in the community, but I don't comment on them or buy into it. It's between them and maybe people stop picking up this guy. Yeah. I didn't realize that like, so prior to me streaming, all I would see would be like Seaton, BG, ILAC. Now ILAC, like, for whatever reason, likes to call out people in his things. I mean, he was on KT1's ass for, I think still kind of is. But I kind of think that might be for other reasons as well. But yeah, I had no idea just how nitpicky the YouTube community, and I think it's probably the YouTube community in general. I don't think it's just for this game, but how nitpicky the community is. Big Blue, how goes it? How goes it? Pop it in before I pass out to drop a like. Well, thank you. What a sweet young man. Yeah, but some people want to brag that they are top-notch and want others to be like this and don't care. Even if you admit you suck, they will still act like, yeah. Like I said, some people just need to feel good about themselves however they can. And if it's at the expense of others, then so be it, right? And I've said as well, both in this game or in life, the only true comparison is between where you are, where you want to be, and where you were. I don't think you can compare yourself to others. It's not, it doesn't make any sense. It's not fair to you or to the other person. Because everyone got where they are through different means, different paths. You're the only one that, you know, comparing yourself to who you were, who you want to be, and who you are. That's the only true comparison. Any community will eventually yep. I'll brag that I'm better than Sergeant. Clicks are inevitable, big blue. I don't know, man. I mean, there are definitely some really good players at this game. But I honestly don't know. Let's just say I was one of the best or whatever, right? Or even if I won the Summoner Showdown. Like, okay, so maybe winning the Summoner Showdown because you get stuff out of it, right? Like you get an iPhone, whatever else, right? I don't know if I would brag about being exceptionally good at something I play with my thumbs. I don't know. Maybe. So when I was late teens, I played badminton, and I was okay. I wasn't great, but like I won local tournaments. So I'm trying to think of how it would go. So it would go from like town to like district to state, and then I guess nationals. So like I won some tournaments in those, but I don't know. It was just like it was fun. It was fun to compete. It was fun to go to the different areas. But I wouldn't come back after a tournament if I had done well and be like, hey, I'll, you know, beat all these people at this. It's like, eh. But to each their own. Live and let live. She thinks you're amazing with your thumbs. Good to know. Most is my roster size. A lot of people are further in the game than me. Certainly have more skill. I like Ankat Sharma. He has amazing knowledge. My thumbs are amazing. And Blue, I don't want to ask your girlfriend questions. He doesn't want to ask your girlfriend. He wants first-hand knowledge. Oh dear. So there are two things that I'm looking forward to seeing the results of in the next little while. One is the U.S. election in 2 weeks, and two is the Cyber Weekend deals at the end of November. The election results just because I like politics in general. Like same thing when Canada's having an election. Like I'm interested to see what the outcome is going to be. Obviously for Canada, that's where I live, so I have a stake in that. So I'll go and vote and whatnot. But the U.S. one I kind of like because I just think it's kind of entertaining. The whole not just because of this current one, but in general. Like since I've been aware of politics, I guess I've had an interest in it. It's a new generation solar video games. They're legit sport, yeah. Just like synchronized saying one day there will be Olympics. Yeah, they were. I don't know if it was StarCraft or it was another game, but there was discussion of having that to be an Olympic event, actually. I don't know whether or not that was passed, but it was definitely something that was on the table. Due to my roster size, I can say I can put up amazing arena scores with a low streak. Election means the Dumber and Dumber 3 movie. Due to your thumbs being so amazing, Blue, think you can hit it really low. The thing is, we love these us more intimate streams, but we also want to see you guys monetize. Like, we want to see that happy medium. Yeah, so I was talking to my brother the other day. So a while, like, my nephew, he's 14 now, but a couple of years ago, like, so when he was like 11, 12, his thing was he wanted to be a professional gamer. And my brother, well, like, that's not going to be the case. You're going to go to school, blah, 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 right? And, I mean, not that I knew much about it, but I knew that that was actually a thing. And I'd seen a couple documentaries about it or whatever, and I'd sent my nephew the info. Because it's not something where, like... So, like, would you guys consider, like, BG, Seaton, Legacy, any of them, would you consider them professional gamers? Or would you consider them, like, YouTubers? Anyway, so the reason I asked that, so I wouldn't necessarily consider them professional gamers. But looking at, so, like, I think the game was actually StarCraft. For one of the documentaries I was watching. It was actually a kid from Canada who was living in California to play on a team. Oh, no, it was Call of Duty. And he was living in California to play on a professional Call of Duty team. And, like, the requirements of them, like, they had to have certain grades, they had to have specific diet, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was something substantial. And in a lot of these cases, you get these Call of Duty or other esport teams being owned by people that also own NBA teams, right? There's money to be made, so people are going to want to make money. Anyways, so my brother was like, no, you're not going to be a professional gamer. And I was like, our other brother was really talented in sports. I don't think he plays anymore. I don't know if he would have ever made it professional for NBA or for baseball or whatever, right? But I mean, he would have definitely had a decent shot. I think I've come to see now that is something he would have wanted, but our parents didn't support it really. But I think to become a professional gamer and do well, you're probably looking at kind of the same odds, maybe even more, as becoming a LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or whatever, right? Like, it's going to be a ton of hard work. You've got to get noticed. So yeah. But yeah, no, I think absolutely it's an avenue for someone to take. Now, obviously, if you're a professional gamer, your actual gameplay and skill at whatever the game is, I think that's legitimate to be scrutinized there, just like any other professional. Professional YouTubers. Okay. Yeah. So why would you consider them to be professional YouTubers rather than professional gamers? Considering they are playing the game. Now, other than Seaton, because he's doing other things on YouTube, but like BG, Legacy, they're only doing MCOC. Well, I guess the thing is, because they have the potential to do something else, like whether it be Realm of Champions or League of, whatever it is. So I'm asking why you guys consider them to be professional YouTubers. I do as well, as opposed to professional gamer. But just wondering why that's the opinion of you guys. You need to make money for the game to be a professional gamer. Yeah, that's a good question. I agree with Blue and Falcon. Yeah, you check. And you guys make a good point. Pro gamers make money from tournament and sponsorship. Okay. Yeah, even with me being in the Summoner Showdown, there was no money to win, so no professional status can be like Counter-Strike in the day. Some tournaments were for a cool million prize. Ooh, that's some serious coin. That's why I laugh when people come in acting like they make money off their perfect gameplay. Legacy's most watched video was him throwing a snowball. Well, maybe he's got potential as a baseball player, although he missed the fence. I think it was the second one. He missed the fence. I don't know how you do that. Like, the fence is big and it's right in front of you, and he missed. Seaton, I believe, is the only professional gamer since he plays other games. Yeah, their income comes from streaming, not playing. Big Blue, you see, yeah. So do you think that most people that are putting out the stuff on YouTube, streaming or videos, do you think the intent is to make money off of it? Because I can't see it, even if you are making money, I can't see it being very much. $100% for the making money, Big Blue. And I will be right back. Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how much yeah, that's good. How much they're able to make. So I think the only one that quit their job was BG, but that was because like his spouse had a job, so they had. To be honest, I think in his case it was really smart and very strategic. So the wife has a job, so they had that reliable income. So he was able to take that risk of leaving secured employment and go full time. Legacy had just finished high school. The intent was to go off to post-secondary. And then Seaton was living with his parents, and then able to establish himself on YouTube while doing that. And then after he established himself, then yeah, was able to move out and stuff. So the one who I think, Mr. Yapper, how goes it? The one who, I don't know if he's a contractor or an actual employee, but Dave basically made this his job in a sense, right? Because he, like everyone else, started out just doing it for kicks, and now I mean I have no idea. I don't know the person. I don't know him to have a conversation with him or anything like that. But I believe that his main source of income is now from Kabam. So the one thing I think is really cool with all of them, and whether it be MCOC or some other game or whatever, but it's all done by themselves, and I really admire that. You make your own opportunities. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. C9BG, more subs. Gosh, with his own money ever. Though indignated, but isn't it his own money if he is buying it with? Yeah, so because people, I see people. Well, let me get through all these other comments, and I'll come back to where Sergeant Bourne says, "But isn't it his own money if he is buying it with his earned YouTube dollars?" There's a lot of people making good money from YouTubing every game, but only a handful make the top and can rely on it solely. Yo, I'm late. Oh, so then, Big Blue, do you know if that's accurate? If Kabam, like I said, whether he's an employee or a contractor, whether that is his main source of income? So Sergeant Bourne, to your comment in regards to, the money's in his pocket, because I see people say that about spending money in the game or Cavalier, blah blah blah. So the way I look at it, absolutely. As soon as the money is in your pocket, it's your money. It doesn't matter where it came from. So once you put that money wherever, buying Cavaliers, buying a car, buying whatever, that's your money that you're spending. So, oh, so he is an employee. Okay. Good. See, now I think that's really cool. To be able to interact, because he would have started off no different than any of us, right? Where he was just a player of the game. Now the thing is with him, I think he's amazingly talented. And I don't mean gameplay. I mean just his creativity. Like I think, well, it was smart for Kabam to pick him up. So yeah, so I think somebody like that, if you're that kind of have that kind of creativity and you're able to market yourself and so on and so forth, I think yeah, you make your opportunities in life in general. I'm not taking away from any of the others, but and I don't watch Dave. Well, I don't watch him. I have seen his videos, and I think it was like maybe the third or fourth video of his I watched, and I was like, he's going to be working for Kabam at some point. And again, it wasn't because of his gameplay. It was just he's got an engaging personality. He knows what he's talking about, and he's very creative. I mean, oh lordy. I also really like the ideas of like Uber or Airbnb or Skip the Dishes and stuff, right? Where yes, you provided an infrastructure like the network, but it's up to you to say, to register for Skip the Dishes and or I think in the U.S. it's Grubhub, but for you to register to get out and do the driving and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And then Airbnb, well, I mean, you've got to have your place in such a condition that somebody would want to stay there and so on and so forth. Why the hell am I getting hit by these things? This is, I mean, it's me just playing poorly, but it's really weird. Because usually, like, Mephisto's stuff is not an issue whatsoever. Okay, there we go. That was weird. How do you get that gig? Working closely with them for years. How does he work with them if he lives in the U.S.? Oh, because they have offices in San Francisco and other places in the U.S. Most jobs that work from home these days. Yeah, but what would he do? Coding. So he's doing like the marketing, right? Like he's done those deep dive things. I think I've seen one of them. Yeah, so he's doing marketing for the most part. He can't say exact, but yeah. Repair things have come from him. Just leave that question alone. Dave can't say. He's been asked a ton. Yeah, I bet. So what? No, just a second. Okay, you may rejoice. So what? How I figured it was there was one of Kabam's produced videos with his voiceover, and I mean, just in general, like he wouldn't do it for free. Not saying that he's not somebody who would, but why would you? Right? You're providing a service to a company. The company is making money off of your service. You absolutely should be compensated. So that's why I was saying I wasn't sure if he was a contractor or an employee. But as I've seen more and more of the videos with him involved with them, it makes sense for it to be as a contractor or as an employee. Into account if this game ended tomorrow, who would be fine and who would be like, oh crap. He is literally video conferencing for like 10 hours a day, pain in the ass to get him to move. Okay, well, leave it alone. Going back to the shadows. Durky durky. Herp a derp. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about the content creator thing? Like, they're not getting direct, or at least as far as we know, they're not getting direct compensation from Kabam, but just by having access to the CCP server, where they can go in and freely try out things, record it, and produce videos, which get views and so on and so forth. So is that like in a roundabout way? So yeah, so they are benefiting from their interaction with Kabam, their direct interaction with Kabam. They're not being compensated, not through monetary means, but in a sense they are, because they're being provided information, privileged information, right? Stay in the light. Honestly, we harassed Dave to the point you could see he was not enjoying it at all, bro. Having a server to do whatever they want is huge, and I believe not fair to the regular player. So that's the thing, right? And that's kind of how I was looking at it at one point as well. But in all honesty, they aren't the regular player anymore, right? They are part of Kabam's marketing division. Like I said, they're not getting compensated monetarily, but with the access. So in a roundabout way, they are getting compensated because of Kabam. The name on the check is not from, Netmarble or whatever. So I think the thing there, yeah, fine, it benefits them, their account, blah, blah. But more than anything else, it benefits the alliances that they're in. Because if they have access to that information, not saying that they're divulging that information to their alliance, but if they know, okay, let's say Cosmic Ghost Rider, for example. So if they know well in advance how he works, how to play him, they're going to try harder to get that champion, right? Oh, whether it be through crystals or, ooh, that was interesting. Whether it be through crystals or whether it be through arena or whatever. So, okay, for example, I'm not going to go for Cosmic Ghost Rider, whether it be through crystals or arena. If I had already played with him, maybe that would be different. So great for me that I've got him, but then if I get him, rank him up, and utilize him in War and AQ, that in turn benefits my alliance. So, I may be in the minority, but I think they should be compensated. Blue, I think it is fair from the business standpoint, like Quid Pro Pro. They are a regular player because I'm competing against them. So then in that, but then that doesn't mean, so then doesn't that mean that the competition's unfair? In that sense? So, because I don't know, do we, as a community, do we get that big of a benefit from seeing their gameplay of a champion before the champion is live? Because for the most part, once the champion is live, and whoever gets him and makes a quick YouTube video, don't we get the same benefit as having the YouTuber do that quick video a week or two before? Yeah, so I agree with that, Big Blue, in regards to, you could have questions about characters in your alliance, and because somebody has access to the CCP, they can check it out. The only thing there is that I don't think the CCP servers are available all the time. But for the period of time that they are available, absolutely. Or does this interaction work this way in the Abyss or whatever, right? So, although I don't know, maybe there are strict. I don't know how you would monitor that, but maybe there are strict rules in regards to that kind of stuff. Well, I mean, obviously we know there's strict rules in divulging information, because there was somebody kicked out because they gave information away that they weren't supposed to. So, Although, that being said, I don't think being kicked from the CCP is a permanent thing, right? You could get kicked and be back in at some other point. Oh! Down we go again. Oh, it's up all the time. Okay. Okay. So now, somebody like myself, because I'm lazy for the most part, so I wouldn't really take advantage of it, right? But I think, yeah, like if somebody wanted to do the Abyss or anything else difficult or new, they could go on the CCP and try it until they were familiar with it, and then go do it on the live servers, right? But you know what? I mean, it is what it is. There's always going to be things anywhere in life that seem unfair or somebody's getting advantaged. Unfortunately, that's just life. So. I think would be really cool, and I hope it works out for him. I don't know if that's what his desire would be, but for somebody that like Legacy, right? Somebody relatively young, their whole future ahead of them, maybe marketing or game design or whatever it might be was not on the radar, but because of simply downloading a game on his phone at one point, that opens up career opportunities. I think that'd be really cool. I mean, it's 1 in a billion or 1 in a million chance. But it was kind of like what I was referring to with my nephew, right? The odds of becoming successful as a professional gamer are probably, you're looking at becoming a professional athlete. Like similar odds. Although, whoa, dude, calm yourself. Lordy, well, this ain't going to end well. Pasty white privilege. It is, like, you do, without decent internet, that would not be possible, right? One, he might not have been able to play the game. Two, he would not be able to stream the game. So you still, so you do need some things going for you already. But yeah, so for example, like how I was saying prior, right? Like I used to live in Nunavut in northern Canada. To become that wouldn't be possible there. Just the internet connectivity is so bad. It's all satellite based, right? There's no terrestrial internet providers. So, who left? Once you're kicked, you're kicked. No, come back. Oh, good point. CCP. Seaton was allowed back in the CCP. Oh, snap, he was kicked, though. Well, I guess he's privileged. It's not so much that he's privileged, it's that he's got, well, maybe, I guess depending how you look at it, but he's got a huge audience, so they wanted his viewpoint. And also, I think, being part of the CCP, he's probably going to have more favorable things to say than if not. I've been invited to betas 3 times already and never did it just because I don't have the time. I have just enough time to play the game and get the rewards for playing for it. Yeah. Well, he shared information not yet released. Yeah. Seaton's popularity was impossible to ignore, though, for Kabam. Business Sense says he must be in the CCP and making videos. Yeah. And forced their hands to release it. Yeah, and I mean, to be 100% honest, like, because for the most part, okay, so here's the thing. So if they removed, that whole thing with the leaderboard and names being off of there because of whatever, right? So I don't know if Seaton's name was there previously, but you can't find it there now. So if it was removed because of whatever happened, but then he's allowed into the CCP, then does it really matter? Right? Because I honestly don't think that it matters for anyone. Yeah. Well, so not piloting, but account sharing. So what it was he made a video on it, and what he was saying was, okay, he got busy with life, he was going out on a date or whatever, and he wanted somebody to be able to move for him in AQ or war. So the person who had access, they mistakenly placed Killmonger at the time, who they had access to, and he notified Kabam, so if they could take the champion off of defense or whatever, and then the result was he was removed from the CCP. So Yeah, now I think, I don't know, because for the most part, I think the account sharing stuff, Kabam fines, and then you get banned for a week or whatever the time frame is, right? So to be 100% honest, I think now maybe the CCP contract or agreement, whatever, is something more, but I think whatever the usual person, whatever their consequences would be, that should have been his, whether it be banned for a week or so on and so forth. Now, like I said, maybe the CCP thing was, like if you do this, you get removed from the CCP. So, yeah, but the ally mate didn't, like, that was mistakenly, right? Well, no, he didn't get screwed by the ally mate. He got screwed by himself by giving someone access to his account. So he was going on a date. The placement was due, so he let his mate log in and place his defenders. Where the mate put Killmonger. Yeah. Yeah. So the only thing I would say in that, it was just a matter of that time. It was a problem, right? Like most likely, that was not the first time somebody had somebody else's credentials in that alliance. We all know now. Definitely don't let anyone go on your account. Yeah, dude. I mean, 100%. Anybody who has allowed someone else access to their account, if they get banned for it, you got no one to blame but yourself. So, I'm trying to think at what point this was. So I was relatively like I was spending a lot of time in the game, pretty serious about it, and I was in an alliance that people were piloting. I didn't know because it wasn't something I did. But people were talking about, oh, I need to get on your account, and I didn't think anything of it, right? I thought that was just part of what happens. Then so at the time we were only doing map 5. Then we were going to try map 6, and because I'm usually up late or whatever, so some people are like, oh, well, I'm not going to be around, could you log in and blah blah. So I'm like, fine, just give me your info or whatever. I think I ended up doing 6 accounts, and at the end of it I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm doing that again, just because it was so too much time, too much of a time commitment to do it. And then I think it was shortly after that where the stuff in war, so it was shortly after that, because it was like a month or so later that I left that alliance, and after I left the alliance is when the war stuff started, and it was then that I realized that the piloting was against the rules. So I think it was always against the rules, it just wasn't enforced until the war stuff. So. And I think I once gave somebody my account info, but they didn't end up using it. Who am I looking for here? So when there's an election in Canada, I usually work during the election. And if you're working an election, you can't be on your cell phone. Well, like even if you're going to vote, you can't be on your cell phone while in the premises to vote. So obviously for a worker, your entire day you can't be. You'd have to leave the premises, like if you had kids or whatever you needed to check up. So I'd given somebody in the alliance, it was a friend from the alliance, my info just in case he needed to move or whatever, or my account needed to move. But he ended up not logging in. And I think twice I left, like when we had our break thing for the election, I left the premises, and that was what I did with my break. But then, once I realized that the account sharing and piloting was against the rules, I'm like, 2 things. 1, no other login info for anything, regardless of what it is, would I give to anyone. And 2, if there's anything in the game that I'm not able to do, I'm not going to have somebody else play a game for me. I think that's crazy. I'll struggle and complain and moan until I figure out how to get whatever it is I need to do done. There's no way I'm going to let somebody else play a video game for me. I remember, what was the game? Not Contra. There was some game as a kid that I played. And some of my friends, they got past a certain level and it was easy for them or whatever. And I just couldn't do it. And I remember, a couple of them being over and, oh, I could do that for you. I'm like, nope, I'll do it. So yeah, it took me a long time to get it done, but I got it done. You'd be proud of my technology illiterate ass, by the way. That's tiresome. If you wanted to join a top ally, you had to give your account. Yeah, so I would have never been in a top ally. I mean, I don't think I'd be good enough to begin with, so it doesn't matter. When Kabam said it was a no-no, I never do it again. How come? Brian Perkins helped me set up Discord. Oh, cool. I even didn't go on my backup for a full year, being afraid I would get bad. We all cheat. Who hasn't had the game crash? Oops. But I don't know. Is that actually cheating, Man Falcon, considering it's built into the game and it's something that we are... Because in that case, would farming revives or pots be considered cheating? Big Blue, yes, I heard that too from other people. Yeah, man, I'm moving into the 21st century. Man Falcon gives Enzo shit for timing out with Corvus every day. Again, it's built into the game. Crashes the game for you. It's a matter of who crashes the game first, so now you are too bad. Should set up Catacomb. It's the new mini games, aren't it? Oh yes, Solar Peg, someone to beat something for us. For you is ridiculous. Yeah. After I was making a quit off to bed. Catch you all later. Stay tuned. Have a good one, Big Blue. Well, I mean, I can't blame you for staying here when you've got this beautiful face on the screen. Of course. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? So it used to be, for the most part, the streams I intended to be an hour and a half, but I'm trying to go for 2 hours. Did 2 hours earlier today, and that's the intent for the one tonight. Yeah, actually, this is working out really well for me because it's the night ones for the most part where there's either no one here or somebody there but just not talking. So it's very boring. And then usually I would end up ending it early, but with a few talkative people here, it makes it go a lot better. So thanks, guys. Oh, you know what? Oh, okay. So I was thinking tomorrow during maintenance. Oh, no, well, we'll see. But just streaming, nothing really, just shooting the shit. And if anybody wanted to come in Discord and whatever. But now I just kind of thought maybe what I could do is stream Realm of Champions. Although I don't know why, because I don't think I'm going to play the game. But yeah. It is cheating as you were screwed, so you crash the game to restart the fight. Farming has been part of the with resources. Yeah, but the manual crash has been part of the game as well, right? But, well, the thing is, with the manual crash, because the way that works, you get the benefit of if it was an unintended crash, right? Once every however often, 6 hours or whatever. Because if the game itself crashes, well, outside of AQ and War though, because AQ and War, you come back with half health, right? Anywhere else, you come back and resume the fight. So, what was the important message, Mr. Bourne? Feels like going 30 minutes. Yep, absolutely. That's what, like I said before, pretty much any time now where I'm thinking of doing arena, I'm like, well, I may as well stream it. It makes it go so much quicker. All I need is 2 or 3 talkative people. I'm good. And it's weird. I think it's actually sitting in the chair, which is the issue. But like before, I could watch TV and do arena. It's fine. But if I'm sitting here streaming and there's nobody chatting and I'm doing arena, it's exhausting. Um, your second well, just copy and paste it, Mr. Bourne. Or are you talking about the match made in YouTube Harmony? Oh, with you? At the beginning of the stream, it sounded like he was in love with me. But he thought it was reciprocal. It's not. Why am I... I don't know why I was just staring at the screen for a second. I wasn't even thinking about the team I was going to use. I was just like looking at it with no thoughts in my head. You know, it's funny. So I'm playing the game. I like the game. I like talking about the game. I much prefer, like when we're chatting now, of talking about other stuff aside from the game. You know something I think I would like? I'd have to become more knowledgeable, but to be like a political commentator. You know, like those people you see on the TV shows that are like, oh yeah, and back in '78 when blah blah blah. I would love something like that. But like I said, I'd have to. Well, I'll get over it. I'm okay. Yeah. But then I'd actually have to know what I'm talking about, not just make shit up on the spot. You know what's really sad? So I'm from Canada, but I know more about American politics than Canadian politics. I know about Canadian politics when there's an election, but outside of that, not so much. Oh, were any of you here in the stream from earlier today? I think Man Falcon may have been. Back in 1900 was when the 20th century began. Once per hour you can crash it. It's an exploit. It's a minor cheat, but still cheat. I've become a plethora. I've beaten a plethora of games in my time. A pure gamer would not do it. Well, I'm not a pure gamer. I could be Mormon cat and have two. It's not a cheat, damn it. Okay. What did I know? I know it all, damn it. I know it all. The 20th century? About me at the 20th century? Yeah, okay, Tiger. Well, anytime you say whatever century, you're talking about the actual numbers prior, right? Like if you're saying 19th century, you're actually talking about the 1800s, right? Or currently we're in the 21st century, but we're talking about the 2000s. So yeah, the 20th century began in 1900, same as the 21st century started in the year 2000. So, were you here for the end of the stream, Man Falcon? Well, you may have typed it before I said it, but I said it before I saw what you typed. But basically, you just said the same thing. So I'm going to have to find you on Twitch, Mr. Bourne, and come in and start yapping in your stream. It's still a stream on Twitch, right? Like, it's not referred to as something different. I don't know what else it would be referred to. Right, yeah, because you're considered a Twitch streamer. Yeah. Oh, so what I was going to ask, Man Falcon, if you were here at the end of the stream from earlier today, do you think there's any point in having the arena info that I have at the end? Like where it's what I had guessed for the previous round, what the actual result was, and the difference between the guess and the result? Sports, and there were certain accepted misconducts, as we call them, cheating in an Australian thing. So wait, are you trying to call me an Australian for doing the quitting out? You know what's funny? For the most time, the only time I do that is in arena. Because AQ and War, it doesn't benefit you. War, it could. So you'll give up the kill, but you'll come back with your champion at full health rather than being completely dead. But for progression-wise, I mean, basically it saves you one revive, right? Progression-wise. Because for the most part, if you're going to die, you're probably going to die. I guess no, there are times where you just screwed up. And you could quit out to avoid that screw-up, I suppose. The tier 1 can't be in 0th century, can it? I think so. Because it's yeah, it is. Because when we went from 1999 to 2000, we entered the 21st century. It wasn't in 2001 that we were in the 21st century. So, for example, okay, well that was in 2001. So for example, the Y2K bug, that would be considered a 21st century issue because it was at the change of the century. Dude, that is one where when she gets me, it annoys me. Because I think this time right there, that was my script. But for the most part, I usually go to Dexit at the same time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The other one that's kind of like that is MODOK. Yeah, sometimes I'll go to Dexit and it will like clip me or something. And then I get the effects of it. And then other times it's fine. Like so if it was like Warlocks L1, where I think I figured out how to do it now, but previously I just couldn't get out of the way of the first two. So that one I'm okay getting hit because I just know that I can't do it. But the ones where sometimes I can and sometimes it doesn't work out, those annoy me. So when we hit the year 3000, I will not love you, and it will be 22nd century. Okay. Okay, good to know, Man Falcon. So, Mr. Bourne, how often do you intend to be streaming on Twitch? Basically the same as how you were doing for YouTube, or do you think you'd be more often, less? Uh-oh, I just realized I'm running out of, this could be problematic. Okay, we don't want that. I'm running out of good 5 stars to use. This should be the last one, though, to get the 2,000 points. Should be. So the other day, I awakened Iron Patriot with a gem, obviously. Just because I wanted to test out a synergy with Red Goblin. It wasn't worth awakening him for. He's still crap. Really, eh? How long after you stream on Twitch? Oh, wait, why didn't that... Why is he not parrying? That was weird. How long after you stream on Twitch can you go back to play it? Like, obviously for YouTube, the video's there until it's not. But is there a time limit on Twitch for how long you can go back and see what you had done? Oh my lord. Dude, what is your problem, man? Oh, that was a bad idea. You gotta be kidding me, man. Come on. Okay then. Are you not doing YouTube anymore? Sergeant Bourne. Am I gonna lose my streak here? Oh, I mean, I guess it's fine. Son of a gun. If I lose my streak, I think this is the first time in a year and a half? Shit. Alright, people. Time to get serious. Okay, so it doesn't matter now. I've already reached the 2K. Oh, we're done. Look at that. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. So. What do you think would need to change in order for you to have an interest to do YouTube again, Sergeant? Or do you think there's anything that could change that would entice you back? Well, you have to download the Triple Trap. Alright, well, that is that for this stream. Streaming Twitch is that you can have the app running while you play the game. Which app do you mean? But yeah, so I'm done for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow at my regular time and hit up some more arenas then. But in the time being, let's head on over to Mr. Bodyguard and say hello. There's the hashtag, flare it up as per usual, and the URL for viewers Twitch. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna at some point try it out just to see. But yeah, thanks for coming, hanging out, and keeping me company. Have a good one, and I will see you guys later. Take care.